Lack of loyalty and commitment, the root of the narcissist's malignancy. Loyalty is a devotion and faithfulness to another human being or to a group or to a country or to a cause. The concept of loyalty implies a steadfast commitment to someone or some cause or a group that you are a part of, and it is at the root of what is wrong with many of the things the narcissist does. Loyalty is the heart of commitment, and commitment is the heart of, the substance of love, and as has already been found out, the narcissist doesn't have the ability to love. Loyalty is the emotion or feeling that powers the commitment being a promise to do something and then fulfilling that promise. Both loyalty and commitment have been diluted out in today's society of disposable relationships, and this feeds into the type of relationship a narcissist prefers. A relationship that can be ended at any time for any reason. Let's just list the synonyms for loyalty to get a deeper understanding of what loyalty actually is: faithfulness, allegiance, homage, constancy, steadfastness, staunchness, true-heartedness, commitment, reliability, patriotism, dependability, troth, trueness, devotion, fidelity, obedience, trustworthiness, fealty, trustiness, obeisance. The term troth is archaic, and it referred to the act or condition of being pledged to marry. It lives on in the present word betrothal, which is an engagement or entering into a marriage contract. Fealty can be seen as a pledge of allegiance to another human being, meaning that they will be given priority over another human being. In medieval times this was by sworn oath. Obeisance, bowing to a king or queen or another human being, is related to the concept of loyalty and adds the element of respect and humility, meaning you consider the other person equal to or greater than yourself. You are acknowledging that person's superiority and importance. Obeisance by definition is showing respect to someone or something. Loyalty to a person when you are in a relationship is exclusionary. In other words, if you are loyal to a person, you will exclude other people. You are disloyal to your partner when you fail to exclude others. This makes flirting a clear act of disloyalty. This disloyalty can extend to family, turning your back on family members who need you, and to your own larger group when you turn your back on the culture of your ancestors, because you are wiser than they were and don't place any value on heritage or tradition. Another example of exclusionary loyalty is found in the Bible and illustrates that loyalty can't be split. Matthew 6:24 states, "No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one, and love the other, or else he will hold to the one, and despise the other. Ye cannot serve God and mammon." Mammon being money. If a relationship is to have any real substance or meaning or value, the loyalty of the partners has to be exclusionary and genuine. The narc is incapable of genuine loyalty. Genuine loyalty means a partner remains true regardless of circumstances. The narc will always shift their loyalty to what is most advantageous to them, proof that the narc has no loyalty at all. The narc only knows how to act loyal, the actual emotion behind that loyalty is absent. Without that actual emotion, the narc's loyalty is hollow and fake. It sure appears to be the real thing, but the proof is in the pudding, and when push comes to shove, that loyalty suddenly transfers to a new partner and the old partner becomes the evil one. Remember the above Bible verse, "He will hate the one and love the other." My narc partner was always fixated on loyalty, and looking back on things I was always puzzled as to why they were overly concerned about loyalty. My loyalty was 100%, in contrast, there were plenty of times when her loyalty was questionable, but I never doubted her since she seemed to place such a high priority on loyalty. I now fully understand this was just a smoke screen on her end to deflect from her own lack of loyalty. I can only imagine that her lack of loyalty was an issue in multiple past relationships, so her best defense and best way to cover up her disloyalty was to be preemptive and accuse her partner of being disloyal even if there was no cause for this accusation, or maybe she was projecting her disloyalty onto me. Towards the end of the relationship, she all of a sudden decided that what we were doing at the job wasn't to her liking. We had been doing these things for years, but now her loyalty was shifted and was with someone else or another group of people or both, and not 2 days later came the discard. She should have known better. There was absolutely nothing wrong with what we were doing, and all of her arguments against it were obviously false. she was only repeating what other uninformed ignorant people were saying. She knew from personal experience that these people were wrong, but it wasn't trendy to do what we were doing, and she had already shifted her loyalty to that other person and literally turned against me. Sorry to be so cryptic, have to protect her identity. Let's now go on to the topic of commitment, since it is another area in which the narc puts on a good act but they don't really have the ability to truly commit to anyone. The narc puts on the act of being committed to someone so that the other person genuinely commits to the narc, and then the narc can freely use that person as a source of fuel or energy. The narc is always on the lookout for newer and better supply, and when they have drained all of the energy out of their existing partner, they simply walk away from the relationship and give their new commitment, fake commitment, to another partner at the drop of a hat. So to summarize, the narc fully understands the power of loyalty, love, and commitment as tools to bind another person to themselves, so the narc carefully mimics these emotions in himself and trades these counterfeit emotions for the genuine commitment, love, and loyalty of his partner. When the partner has outlived their usefulness, the narc has no problem quickly shifting their counterfeit loyalty, love, and commitment to another better source of fuel. The very definition of commitment, loyalty, and love, the very substance of those emotions, makes them non-transferable to another human being since they are exclusionary. Genuine love, commitment, and loyalty are powerful, and if they are pure, are meant to last a lifetime between two people. They are the glue that binds two partners together. The fact that the narc can so rapidly transfer to another partner proves that they don't possess any genuine bond to another human being. Hence zero loyalty, zero commitment, zero love, only the counterfeit versions. So this is the problem with the narc, but in this case it might be a good opportunity to have a frank, uncomfortable discussion about modern-day relationships and how the present lax standards partners are held to make it so much easier for narcs to ply their trade undetected, or at least hide behind the loose moral standards of our time by pretending their brand of depraved indifference to their previous partner is normal for our times. So the rest of this video is going to go over the Creator's, God's, standards for relationships. For those of you not interested, have a good day, but the information coming may be the most important you will ever hear when it comes to avoiding narcissists. God's standards, as found in the Bible, are no longer lived by or even taken into account in modern society, but they are the narc's worst nightmare. Just think about this. The narcissistic pig that I was with has zero regard for any man she has ever been with and has absolutely no guilt or remorse for being unfaithful. In biblical times, a woman like this would be publicly stoned to death for even one act of adultery. Today these same women get into one adulterous affair after another with absolutely no shame. These women are filled with arrogance and haughtiness and actually revel in the damage they do to men. Just think about what a public stoning would do to wipe away the smirk and take away the swagger from the evil, arrogant narc that realizes this could be their fate. The stoning is a clear indicator that what she is doing is a very serious offense, nothing to be taken lightly and certainly nothing to be proud of. Yes, this woman openly and proudly flaunts her treachery and unfaithfulness and is quite proud of the supposed power it gives her. That woman's behavior has destroyed many a family and many a man, and modern-day society has no remedy for a creature like this. They roam the streets free to damage everyone that gets close to them, and they feel entitled to do this since in their mind they are only doing what everyone else is doing. Bear in mind, I am not advocating stoning for unfaithfulness, but it reminds those of us in this warped, depraved modern world how serious this activity really is. Next we get into the real problem with modern-day society, the problem that makes every honest human being easy pickings for the narcissist. The moral standards for people are so low today that sex outside of wedlock is no longer considered shameful or sinful. Today many of us meet someone and get into a physical relationship with them without really first getting to know that person, and before you know it you are a committed couple. This is like playing Russian roulette. There is only one bullet in that 6-shooter and the odds are you aren't going to get shot, but there is that 1 in 6 chance. Well, those of us that encountered the narc were unlucky enough to have the bullet in the chamber and were severely injured. God's standards are simple. Get to know someone first, no physical relationship at all. Then make a lifetime commitment and get engaged, and then finally get married. The physical relationship was forbidden outside the boundaries of marriage. A relationship is not disposable in God's eyes, it is a lifetime commitment, especially once two partners are in a physical relationship. I have now heard comments that state, well, anyone is free to leave a relationship at any time, whether it be 6 months or 3.5 years or 15 years. That kind of talk is the world's wisdom, but rest assured it is foolishness to God. 1 Corinthians 3:19 For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God, 1 Corinthians 1:25 Because the foolishness of God is wiser than men. I made it very clear to my partner about my beliefs, and there would be no physical relationship without a 100% lifetime commitment on both of our ends, and she agreed to this. I re-emphasized this to her multiple times throughout the relationship, and she understood what that meant. She never disagreed, and we were supposedly on the same page. That this was a committed relationship, not one for fun. So yes, people now believe there is no problem with ending a relationship for any reason whatsoever, no explanation needed. That is pure nonsense. That line of thinking reduces human beings to less than animals. Even some animals mate for life, animals such as swans, bald eagles, turtle doves, even French angelfish, but committed monogamy for humans is now considered unrealistic and odd. What is it going to take for people to wake up and realize they have been hypnotized by the media as well as education into accepting behaviors that were unimaginable only a few decades ago? The pure depraved filth that passes for entertainment, the news that seeks to manipulate and create opinion, not report the facts, and an education system that starts indoctrinating children into proper thought patterns as soon as possible and creates correct, socially acceptable, politically correct citizens. It all adds up to social engineering and mind control, and the public has accepted it hook, line, and sinker. No, this nonchalant attitude is not normal and not modern. Think about Sodom and Gomorrah. God is patient, and this attitude of the human race was predicted to occur right before the final harvest. Modern-day narcissists are in seventh heaven. Current moral standards have made it open season for the narcissist, and there seems to be no shame associated with the narc's filthy behavior in our day and age. God has a different opinion. You do know what happened to Sodom and Gomorrah, don't you? Totally annihilated by fire and brimstone. All of those modern thinking progressive people who knew better than God, or just totally disregarded God altogether. After all, they were advanced, they had evolved, they had outgrown the need for those outdated biblical standards of conduct. All of them, every one of them destroyed. How much longer will God be patient? Thank you for watching. Your comments are welcomed. Peace be with you.